I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, do women like skinny guys? I've got an email here from a viewer. He obviously has self-esteem and body image issues that are basically causing him to think that he somehow is inadequate or unattractive to women because he thinks he's too skinny. He says, "Hey Corey, I wish I could give you a hug and thank you for all the efforts you've put to write in your book for guys like me, and I have some questions for you. I have a good face, but I'm very thin and I weigh 51 kilograms. Well, I don't know what that is. We use pounds in the States here, so I don't know that conversion off the top of my head. But obviously you're concerned about, you think you're too skinny or whatever." He says, "Well, girls not like me for being thin. What should I do? I'm only 19 years old and I'm from India." Well, it really doesn't fucking matter, because at the end of the day, attraction is not a choice. Here's the deal. If you were to take 100 random women that say you go to a mall and you walk around and you see 100, you pick out, say, I want you to go and pick out 100 women that you like, that you'd like to go out with. And not only that, I want you to go up to 100 women that you like and that you want to go out with and just ask them on a date. Ask them for their phone number, ask them if they'd be interested in meeting you for a drink, just so you can go and interact with them. Now, here's the deal. Out of those 100 women, the best approach you should take is, of course they all want me. I'm amazing. I got a lot to offer a woman. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is, the bottom line is, the majority of those women probably are not going to be interested in you. As a matter of fact, the majority of them are not going to be interested in you. But you should always assume that they do, or that they are. And even when a girl turns you down, you just walk away, hey, it's her loss, and you really feel that way. And that's the attitude that you should always have towards all women. So, now let's say that you go and you spend a couple hours at the mall, and you interact with 100 women, and you ask 100 women out. Maybe you get a dozen phone numbers and maybe 3 or 4 dates to meet a girl out for a drink. And you're doing pretty well at that point. So here's the bottom line. Out of those 100 women that you met, on a scale of 1 to 10, you have to be at least a 5 or better in their eyes in order to have a chance. In order to have a chance at them falling in love with you. And the thing with women is that when you look at, when they do studies and they've interviewed women, and they say, what are the things that you're most attracted to in a guy? Looks are usually the 3rd or 4th on the list. The number one most important thing that women love in a guy is a guy with confidence. Now here's the thing. If a woman finds you physically attractive but you've got no confidence, just because you're physically attractive, if you've got no confidence, she's going to reject you. She's going to lose interest in you. Now, if you're kind of somewhat attractive, you're kind of okay, where you're basically like a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10 to a girl. In other words, she looks at you and she says, like in your case, you say, I got a good face. She's like, oh, wow, he's kind of handsome. He's kind of cute. I go out with him. That's the attitude that they have. He's okay. That is what a 5 on a scale of 10 to a woman is. And so the girl, you're not an 8 or a 9. You're not a Brad Pitt to her. But she likes your face. She thinks you're somewhat attractive. And she starts talking to you, and she realizes, wow, this guy's got a lot of confidence. He's really sure of himself. And then you ask her out, you set a date, and just the way you go about asking out, there's like no fear in your voice. You just plan a date. It's like you go right for what you want. Hey, when are you free? I'd love to sit down and have a drink with you sometime. When are you free to get together? You just say it like that, and you say it very matter-of-factly, no fear, no hesitation. Why? Because you've probably done it a few thousand times in your life, and so you're used to women saying yes to you. And if you've approached several thousand women at that point in your life, then you should be pretty fucking good at being able to tell women you got a chance with and women that you don't. And so in this particular case, it's like I was talking about, the analogy, out of 100 women, a certain percentage of them are going to like you. You're going to do it for them. It's just the way it is. From a biological perspective, the interesting thing is, when they've done studies in this, human beings, we tend to be attracted to members of the opposite sex, and this is interesting, who have a similar facial structure to our own. And so I could look at a girl and I could think, she's the most fucking unbelievable woman on the planet. And you could look at her and go, yeah, she's really pretty, Corey, but there's this other girl that lives in my town, and I think she's a lot prettier than this girl that you like. And that's just the way it is, just because biologically we tend to be attracted to people who have similar facial structures to our own. And think about it. It's like if you're really skinny, I mean, look at a woman. You ever look at a woman's arms? I mean, other than, supermodels who look like fucking skeletons. But, I mean, there's some very attractive women that are very thin, very petite. Their arms are thin, their frame is thin, and they just have a nice little shape to them. They have nicely rounded butt. They have nicely shaped legs. They're nicely shaped, but they're not like muscular. They don't go out and work out. They're thin, but they're attractive. As a guy, I'm going to be attracted to a woman like that just because she's physically attractive, she carries it, and she wears it well. Like in your particular case, you're all hung up on your body, and like I said, it really doesn't matter. When you interact with a woman, you simply want to know, are you in or are you out? You're not going to say that to her in that way. You're obviously going to use the stuff that I talk about in my books and my other articles. But when you interact with a woman, that's what you want to know. In other words, you're trying to identify as quickly as possible, am I a 5 or better, or am I a 4 or lower in her eyes? And if you're a 5 or better, you're going to make a date, you're going to get the number, whatever. And if you're a 4, you're not. You're not going to make the date. You're going to want to find out as quickly as possible that she's not interested and move on to the next girl. And not feel bad about it, not think, oh, it's because I'm skinny, or it's because I have a big nose, or my feet are too big, or you just go on to the next one. It's a numbers game, but you don't know these things until you've interacted with enough women to realize that, hey, even though I'm not the most muscular and the biggest guy or the most handsome guy in the world, there's a certain percentage of women that are they like me. That's just the way it is. And by interacting with other women, that's how you find these things out. That's how you learn to realize that is actually your truth. Now, if you feel like you need some more muscle, then go get yourself a personal trainer and go join a gym and start putting on some weight. And you'll become even more attractive to women. But like I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like women I've dated, it's like all the women that I've had long-term relationships over the past, I'd say 10, 12 years that I've had long-term relationships, every single one of them have all said the same thing to me. You're not the type of guy that I would normally date. I had one of my girlfriends, she's very in great shape, won the Miss Figure competition. As a matter of fact, she just won recently 2 more competitions. She placed first place. One of them was a Miss Figure competition, and another one was the same thing, body type. In other words, she basically had the best body in her weight class. And she fucking had an unbelievable body. And this particular girl, she always dated guys that were really big, really muscular. Now I'm in good shape, and I'm a little stocky, but I'm not big and muscular like the guys that she dates were like bodybuilder almost. The type of guys that are really big, really muscular. And I remember she was like, at the time when I first started dating her, I mean, I was in decent shape and everything, but I wasn't muscular in any way compared to the dudes. The guys had like ripped abs. I have flat stomach, but it's not like, my ribs, my abs aren't all chiseled and I'm not all perfect. My muscles and veins aren't all busting out. And she said to me, she's like, I normally date guys. I'm always normally really attracted to really muscular guys. And I could have taken that very insecurely, but the way she looked at me since the moment we met, I could tell that I just did it for her. I pushed her buttons. I did, even though physically I wasn't what she said she wanted or what she normally was attracted to. It was my confidence that put me over the edge. But, I mean, like I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, I was probably a 7 or 8 in her eyes as far as looks, the eyes, the whole 9 yards. But the body, I just simply didn't have the body that the rest of the guys that she's normally used to dating had. And when I hear things like that, I'm like, fuck yeah. That makes me feel good about myself. I don't look at it and go, oh, I don't have as big a body, as big as muscles as her other boyfriends. I don't look at that in a bad way. I look at that, and that makes me feel good about myself because I was able, just by being me, by being confident, by owning my energy, my presence, my space wherever I go, I was able to cause her to perceive me as a lot more attractive than I really am to her just because of how I carried myself. It's the whole picture of how you carry yourself. And so even though physically I didn't resemble what she thought she normally was most attracted to, it really didn't fucking matter. I just did it for her. And even though you think you're skinny, you say you got a good looking face, it's like, there's chicks out there that are just going to like what you got to offer. But if you're not interacting with them, you're never going to find that out. You're going to be full of fear. And that's why I encourage you to read my book, to get out there, to start practicing. I did a video a while back called Improving Your Social Skills. I highly encourage you to watch that video several times and go to the mall and practice the techniques and the pickup lines that I say to use, because they'll work like a fucking charm. And then you can start interacting with women and realize that, wow, there's no reason to be afraid. You just need to go up, talk to women, interact with them, ask them out on a date. And when you do it enough, you'll start to see the difference between the ones you really got a chance with and the ones that you don't. And over time, you'll just naturally start interacting with and asking out more and more women who you got a shot with, because you literally will get to the point where you can look right at a girl, and the way you look at her and the way that she looks back at you, you'll be able to read her body language or physiology and know exactly whether or not you got a chance with her or not, and whether or not it's worth risking rejection, walking up to her and asking her out. So if you have a question you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which will be on the left-hand side of your screen. Send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max, and just give me several days to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, on my website, underneath the email sign-up box, is a box that has a link that will take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, just download one of their free e-reader apps. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these video newsletters, the articles on my website, and my ebook, you can show your appreciation by going to my website right now. And on the Webby toolbar at the bottom of your screen, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.